Hey there, this is Michael Santiago with the Rising Co. Super excited that you joined us here for this training. This training was a webinar that I recorded back in 2025, and it's still relevant and true till this day. Many business owners have gone through it and done enough work to be reaching up to 6,000 plus in search traffic a month, really helping down their pipeline. And I believe the same can be true for you as you implement the steps and everything that we're going to be covering in this webinar. So take a whole lot of notes, grab your journal, grab whatever note-taking system. There's going to be quite a lot. You're going to be receiving an email. That email is going to have a checklist guide that has a lot of the information and a lot of the things that we go into in the webinar. And so be looking out for that email. Make sure to check your junk folder in case it lands there. And again, just prepare yourself for that webinar. It's about maybe like 40 to 45 minutes. And so it's going to be really solid information for you, no matter what kind of business type you may be. And if you need any help along the way, you can email me at michael@thearising.co, or you can always just book a call with us by visiting our main website at www.thearising.co. Without further ado, enjoy this webinar.
And so thank you guys again for being here. This is about lead generation through SEO. If you're here, you already know that SEO has to do with search engine optimization. And so it's all about how do you get ranked on search engines for your website. There's all kinds of different types of SEO now that social media platforms like TikTok, right, Instagram, X, they have their own search engines embedded within their platforms. And so we will not be talking about social media SEO. We're only going to be talking about SEO from the perspective of websites, because websites SEO still big factor today. Although many may say that it's saturated, there are it's not a one size fits all when it comes to SEO. Different industries have higher competition. The Saranis, you work in the insurance industry with health insurance. You are most likely competing against the very carriers that you sell health insurance for. And so for your kind of industry, strategy looks a lot different than someone else that like Gene Columbus, that he's a coach, right? And consults for employees, right? Job hiring, storytelling, all these kind of wonderful things. He may have an easier time with SEO as far as the approach goes, but Saranis, you may have to do a little more research to find those kind of questions that people are asking that then you can serve based on your service area. So we're going to go into those nicks and crannies as we dive into this, but it's all about getting found online and growing your business. And so what if you could generate quality leads every single month just by being found when people search online? That's the whole point of this. Now, when it comes to SEO, I do want to say that because of such a saturation of knowledge, right? I mean, you guys are probably getting so many cold emails about SEO. You guys are putting on YouTube and you're seeing all kinds of things on LinkedIn where someone is touting to be this, or I'm a digital marketer and I'm this and I can do this for you. Well, because we live in the age that we live in, a lot of people can say that, but not actually walk the walk, to walk the talk. And so, what you want to be mindful of is that you want to make sure that the persons that you're talking to and the professionals that you're hearing have social proofs, testimonials, reviews that can then guide you and help you to know that you're actually receiving from a trusted source. And we'll go over that. Now, in this training, I'm going to show you how SEO can actually become a solid lead generation tool. Now, every industry is different. Now, you guys are all from different industries. Some of you guys may be in the same industry. And SEO can still work for you, whether you are new to the game as far as new in your business, whether you are new into having a website, or whether you're actually been a vet and you've been in the website game for a long time. SEO can work for you, but you have to know these nooks and crannies that we'll cover in this presentation. And again, the part about being burned, even if you're just getting started or have tried and failed before, many companies have tried SEO before, but unfortunately, they listened to voices that promised them, "Hey, I'll get you ranked number one on Google, and right away, I'll get you this within 1 month or something like that." However, that's not the case. With SEO, you can rank pretty quickly on certain key terms, but those keywords are going to have to be hyper specific, usually a question that needs an answer, and it's most likely not going to be the best lead generation tool for your industry. We've helped companies before, like home inspectors, where they were promised that they're going to get number one on Google for their home inspections, only to find out that it didn't happen, and they wasted about $2,000 a month, not only on SEO service, but on a website that wasn't theirs to own. And so once they stopped making those payments, their website was gone, their SEO was gone, and now they had to start from fresh. And so you want to be very careful when you are pursuing this route. So I'll be able to cover that kind of information as we proceed. But this is for you if you want more qualified leads without relying only on paid ads. Now, paid ads are not bad. I actually recommend SEO and paid ads together because they work very well. SEO is more of a long-term investment. PPC or pay per click ads are more of an immediate. This is an immediate need that you have. And so with PPC, that's what we're going to be able to do. Hey, welcome, iPhone 187. It's a wonderful name. I'm going to ask that you mute, or I'll actually mute you too, just for the sake of the portion of the presentation. But then we're going to have a Q&A later on, so that then that way, any questions that you have, you can definitely ask them. But welcome. So when it comes to this, right, this is for you if you're tired of not showing up on Google. If you heard of SEO but feel overwhelmed, because it can be a little overwhelming sometimes. You want your website to finally start working for you, or you're tired of spending money on SEO with no return of investment. That's one of the big things that we do receive, because marketing companies may pitch to you that they do SEO, but they may only do local SEO. Local SEO is very different. Angelique, I believe you have a head spa, right? Like a salon, right? And you have a
Yeah.
therefore you have a physical location. You can't do that virtually. And so for your salon, you would benefit the most with local SEO. But oftentimes with local SEO, there's a specific route that you have to go through in order to maximize that return. Now, if someone was doing SEO from a content specific brand, where maybe there are questions that your clients have in regards to, what is the right essential oils to put for my skin to look beautiful, right? Or ageless and all these other things, right? That's a more content driven strategy. But if your company needs money now and clients now, you may need to go a local SEO approach to highlight the cities around your area that then you need to make sure that you have certain service pages for, right? And so those are some of the things that we're going to dive into in this webinar, because you have to understand where your company lies, because it's not just about trying to rank for a keyword, creating a website, checking out all the bubbles. You have to understand the model of your company, and we're going to dive into that. But first, a little bit about us. And so Rising Co, we started back in 2020 during the COVID era. And my wife and I, we have marketing and software engineering and programming and website skills. Throughout our tenure, we decided to come together and do something about helping others connect with their audience and increase their revenue. And so over the last 4.5 years, we've developed over 70 plus websites, including web applications. Web applications meaning things that are a little bit more robust. You have a full-on database. It's very specific to your industry. We've helped generate over $300,000 in revenue for companies just through SEO alone. It's super key. We've done it through pay-per-click ads as well, but on the subject of SEO, wanted to highlight that. And we've served over 95 clients over the last 4.5 years. So that's a blessing, and we're very grateful for being able to serve that many. And so we trust that the information that we're going to give you, we've seen it for our clients. And so we're elated to be able to share that information, at least help you, whether you're more on the DIY side or whether you are wanting to hire or just gain some information, whatever that looks like. We're excited to serve you. But just a little bit of testimonials, right? I don't want to save this for the end. You kind of need to know what's possible. And so for this one, we are keeping some company names hidden just because with SEO, sometimes it can get hyper competitive. And so one of our clients, they were receiving searches for their brand. Now that's something cool, but it's not something that ideally we want. We want people to search for us, not because they already know of us. We want those that don't know, but they're searching for the services that we provide. Those are the type of people that we want. And so they weren't ranking for that. So they came with us on a retainer basis, and within just 4 months alone. Now, normally SEO takes about 6 to 9 months for you to rank for a particular keyword, as I mentioned. But if the keyword is not highly competitive, if it's easy to rank for, you can actually begin to rank for that at a much earlier stage at an optimal level. And so for them, they ranked for a particular keyword in their service that was in position 5. So like if you Google their particular keyword, like they're not going to show up until the fifth result. And now Google is filled with ads and sponsors and all kinds of things. And so you want to make sure that you understand that it's not just about ranking number 1, 2, or 3. People are legitimately price shopping, oftentimes, depending on your industry. So they may not just rest at the number 1 result. They may go to 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's hope. Now, for them, in just 4 months, they received a 240% increase in web traffic. But traffic is not enough. We need them to actually convert. And so what was awesome was to see that they actually gained $150,000 plus in revenue just from one high paying client that found them on Google search. And we know because we were using a lead tracking management system that showed that they found this through organic search, not through a pay per click ad. And so for them, with the services that they were paying for us, this was a 971% return on investment. And the good thing about SEO is that this is not something that you are just having to constantly pour money into, depending on the industry. If you're on an industry that's highly competitive, you will have to invest in SEO. But if you're not, and you're more on a small business scale, then you don't have to go on an ongoing rate. And so for them, this was a no-brainer, and they're still getting more and more traffic that they can funnel clients to contractors, et cetera. Now they have to think of how can we continue to grow in this particular location. And so this is some of the possibilities. Now for them, they have a high ticket item. You may not have a high ticket item like a minimum of 150K for a sale. And so you have to then consider, well, what would it look like for my kind of item? And what are things that we can do to not only bring the traffic into the website, but an easy way to sell to them so that that way, if you have a much lower ticket item, you're still getting a great benefit. Now, we have the pianist who happens to be here with us. Thank you, Michaela, for joining us. She grew from average of 10 monthly search traffic to 1,700 within just 1.5 years with our consulting work. And now, Michaela, you told me that you're at like 6,000 a month or so. Our systems say something along the lines of 3,000 average monthly search traffic, but because you have the tools that we're going to talk about in this presentation, she's able to monitor and actually see all the web traffic coming in. But guys, just imagine, what does that look like if you have 10 people coming to your website in a month that don't know about you, to 1,700, right, to 3,000. And the thing with SEO, again, it takes time. But because of that investment that Michaela made, there it is, right? 1,700 in 1.5 years, and she's able to continue to grow her business. And so, yes, I mean, this percentage is true. This is a huge percentage from 10 to 1,700. So that's the kind of increases that are possible in terms of SEO, led to course purchases, private lessons, and more. Now, Michaela's strategy is how do we take that traffic and now work on converting them, which is another aspect that needs to be worked on. And lastly, there's others, but for the sake of the time, we want to continue. This was a nonprofit ministry, helped them to increase from 21,000 users to 96,000 users within just 1 year. This was because of SEO. And in 2025, already they're on course for 20,000 more users without doing much work. So that's the thing with SEO. It's kind of like YouTube. If you do a great YouTube video on a how-to and there's a lot of people searching for it, you're only recording that video once. You're only posting that video once. You're not changing anything else. But over the years, that video continues to get views. And if you're monetized, then you're going to get money for work that you only did one time. And so that's kind of how SEO also works. Although there are moments where you do have to change certain things like updating an outdated blog or article or page. And those are things that you can do to help increase your ranking once you know what you're actually doing. So again, I share this so that you guys know what's possible. And I want you guys to dream and I want you to hope for the best for your business, for your various locations, if you have multiple locations, or if you have an idea for a business as well. I believe this is really going to help you to expand your perspective. But let's begin. So, SEO, first, we want to cover myths versus truth. I really want to hone on this. So, SEO is instant, right? You get these emails that say that. That's not true. It's actually a long term investment. So, you invest in something now, whether it's a new website page, an article on a keyword that someone is asking a question about. Like I gave that example before, what are some essential oils to help my skin be wrinkle free, right? Those are legitimate questions that people are asking. But you have to frame the article in a way that covers the exact question of what they're searching. Because if you think that they're searching something, but you didn't do the research to know that they actually searched that, it's going to be a problem for you. And so with SEO, you want to make sure that you understand that this is not an instant thing. This is a long-term investment, but once the traffic starts coming in and the leads start coming in, you're going to be very thankful and you're going to want to invest in it a little bit more. Um, People say that SEO is about getting more traffic. It's not necessarily that. It's about getting the right traffic because you can be attracting the wrong audience that will not convert. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on keywords and phrases that actually target the audience that's more likely to actually convert. Ranking number one is not winning. Ranking and a conversion is a win. Again, so we want to make sure that they convert. SEO is not one and done. It's an ongoing process because over time, Google may and search engines may change their algorithms of what needs to change as far as ranking. Or you may have other competitors that start coming in and you thought that you were coasting, right? You're getting X amount of traffic, but now there's a competitor that's trying to steal that traffic by focusing on keywords that you're ranking for, and they're just trying to one up you with their content. And so it's ongoing, especially when those times come. And PPC is better. Oftentimes, people say that pay per click is better than SEO. SEO and pay per click are great in together because SEO is a long term strategy. PPC is an immediate. So if you need immediate leads, pay per click ads across social media platforms like Facebook, Google. I say Google loosely because that's based on your industry. Health insurance, lawyers, home inspect, those kind of stuff require a lot higher cost per click. So you need to maybe focus more on Facebook ads, which are a lot cheaper. Normally, on average, is about $1.10 per click, but you can get that a lot lower, like we did for others. But yeah, this is super solid to understand. So you want to know myths versus truths. Now, when it comes to SEO, success comes from success on all of these fronts. When it comes to SEO, like I mentioned earlier, some people may only be really good at one thing. Most likely, a lot of people right now are mainly good with local SEO, but they charge you a crazy amount of money for something that you don't need them to do because all you're really doing is creating a Google business profile or a Bing business profile or putting your information in a directory. And that's usually a one and done deal. Then you're bringing in people to give you reviews on those profiles so that you can rank better, right? And so that's more local SEO or creating website pages on your website that target a particular city or a community so that if, for example, Angelique's Head Spa, right? You have Head Spa Orlando. If you maybe do like Head Spa Winter Park, maybe you have a service page on Winter Park that covers that particular keyword, but you have to first know, are people actually searching that keyword? And if they are, then it's worthwhile to make that page. That's something that's considered local SEO and on page SEO. Technical SEO has to do with how does your website load? Is it fast? Is it slow? Or do you have secure website, right? Sometimes you go on a website and it says not secure and your phone or your desktop stops you from going into it. Well, that's just called an SSL. Those things are free on the usual. and you usually don't have to worry about that. But sometimes people don't renew their SSLs or don't pay for it. You need this in order to be ranking on SEO. Mobile responsiveness. How does your website look on a phone? Like if it doesn't look good on a phone, Google will ding you for that. It needs to be able to easily be navigable through your mobile phone. And then off-page SEO. That's outside of your website. Are other people learning about your services and linking to your websites, right? Are you in directories? Are you posting your stuff, your new blog article or your new page or your new website to social media so that then others can know what is it that you're doing to heighten the possibility of them giving you a backlink, which is an SEO term for, hey, love what you do. I want to show people, my audience, your stuff, Gene Columbus. So I'm going to put your website, genecolumbus.com, on my article at thearising.co on best coaching websites or something along those lines, right? And so that's those are the kind of things that you have to consider when thinking about SEO. And it sounds daunting, but we're going to break it down easily and equip you with the tools that'll actually help you effectively implement it. And so remember, just take it step by step. What I'm going to provide for you, even in the free guide, is a nice checklist so that then that way you can go at your own pace for this. And so secret number one, we do a framework, 3 steps. And so this secret, before you even begin on your website, let's say you already have a website, that's fine. But the first thing that you have to do is you have to start with keyword research. You have to understand what people are actually searching in relation to your business. And so what are they searching for? Do I know that the keyword that I'm ranking for, trying to rank for, is something that will attract my target customer? How can I know the data? Where can I find that data so that I can make an informed decision? They're very important questions. And so let me give you a scenario. This screenshot here shows 2 particular keywords: air conditioning repair and AC repair Orlando. If you notice, you have this KD here. This is keyword difficulty. The higher the number, the harder it is to rank for. And to rank for that, that just means that your website needs to be mentioned by a lot of other websites, maybe be included in a news outlet, a news interview, something along those lines. And you have to have all the other markers in line. But guess what? It's searched for 19,000 times on a monthly basis in the US, 39,000 outside of the US. So for the most part, you will not be focused on globally unless your company is a virtual type of company that focuses on US and global other countries. And so this is their monthly search traffic. But if you look here, you have AC Repair Orlando, 9 difficulty, so it's easier, and 700 searches monthly. It's just very important because of the fact that we have Orlando here. That means that there's about 700 people on average a month that need AC repair in Orlando. And so from these people, you can bet that these are high intent users that really need your service. And so let's pretend that you're an HVAC company in Orlando, Florida, that just started your company. So you're brand new to the game. You have only one page on your website to show off your information. So you focus on air conditioning repair as your main service because you didn't do any keyword research. Now, unfortunately, because the keyword difficulty is 58, it's going to take you way too long, years, for you to be able to actually rank for that keyword. And so, and it's generic. It's not specific to a state. So there are multiple states in the US that are searching for that keyword. And so you're only going to get a very slim piece of the pie. Instead, you should have focused on AC Repair Orlando because it's much easier to compete and it has a high intent of users. And so this is that kind of approach that we need to be able to think about, a framework, a paradigm whenever we are doing SEO for our websites. Super key, super vital. By the way, you're going to have this presentation afterwards as well. And so what are some things that you need to do for keyword research? We need to start with the customer's questions, right? We have to use Google's auto suggest, and people also ask. What this is that when you go to Google, right, and you're typing in your question, you see how it suddenly fills out things before you even finish it. That's their auto suggest. That just shows that Google is trying to recommend you something that people are constantly searching. And so you want to be mindful of that. This is so that then you can derive ideas for pages. But what I would do is take those keywords, those phrases, those questions, and then put it on a notepad because you're going to use a keyword research tool to actually assess whether or not people are searching for that, or how many. And so look for long tail phrases like how to clean a fiberglass pool as an example. You can get even more specific based on your industry as well. Use free or paid tools. The free guide that we're going to give you, it's going to give you a list and assortment of free tools and paid tools so that then you can have the data and the source for what you're searching for. And you want to prioritize keywords that have a lower competition score, which is a lower KD, keyword difficulty, have at least 10 plus monthly searches. And I say 10 plus because sometimes, depending on your industry, just 10 searches a month, maybe 10 high intent users that will buy your product. And so it's not something to scoff at. It's very good. And clear search intent. This is very important because I was just recently doing a website review, and one of the companies is an AC company. They've been in the game for a while, but their website just started focusing on SEO, and so they're starting to rank for something like HVAC Orlando. But the thing is that oftentimes HVAC Orlando, people are searching for that because they want a job, as opposed to actually seeking HVAC services. If you look back in the previous slide, right, AC repair, these are more in line to what people are actually searching, or AC system install, those kind of things. And so you want to make sure that the keywords that you're ranking for are actually bringing in the right audience. And so with the SEO guide that I'm giving you, you're going to have this section. It's going to be a keyword plan section. And so the focus is, because I want to equip you, is you're going to have a focus keyword. So if I wanted to focus on custom pool builder, what are some long tail phrases or keywords in relation to custom pool building that I need to think about and then write down their search volume and their global search volume? Only global if it matters to your industry. So, like if I was a custom pool builder and I had locations outside of the USA, it would make sense for me to also focus on global. But if my main business is coming from the USA in particular locations, then I want to focus on search volume. And then what's going to be the page URL for that particular keyword? You want to be organized with SEO. You don't want one page of yours to compete with another page of yours on a particular keyword. That happens. That's called cannibalization. It's when you create duplicate pages focusing on the same keyword. Instead, have one page on one keyword and have a nice sheet that will organize that for you. At least you got to organize it, but you can always review it so that then you can see how you're performing. This is included for you in the guide. And you're going to have an email for that guide as well. Everything will come in an email, and then check your junk folder or spam folder. And if it doesn't come in, let me know. I'll have a phone number there so that then that way you can just send me a text and then I can get that over to you. But that's as far as keyword research goes. Keyword research is a very straightforward process, but you have to give thought to it. That's why there's not much to these slides here for keyword research, but you do have to give thought on how am I going to think about the very keywords that people are searching. You can ask ChatGPT or any other AI provider to give you a list of keywords, right? And then utilize them and put them on a free tool. But what I found is that sometimes with AI, they don't word it very well in the way that we think. So they might type in air conditioning repair Orlando, which may not have a whole lot of searches compared to AC repair Orlando. So you just want to be mindful of those things. But with keyword research done, you have to decide what's the roadmap that'll suit you best for your company. So you notice I'm not even talking about websites yet, because you have to ask yourself, what's the model of your company? Am I attracting only a local audience or a global audience? And do I have a physical location for my company, or do I aspire for one in the future? This is important because if you have a physical location, your Google business profile, it's going to ask you for an address of your physical space. That's very good because if I am looking for your services. Let's say you have a physical location and I'm near your area. And you have reviews and good things on there. It's going to prioritize your business as opposed to another business that does the same thing but doesn't have a physical location. Because Google Business Profile, it favors on the geolocation side, tracking where you're at. It favors those with a physical location. So if you only have a service area, I may serve the Orlando area, but don't have a physical location. It's going to put my business much lower in ranking than those that have a physical location. And so if you aspire for a physical location, it's good to get your Google Business Profile ready, have reviews, all that stuff, because all you're doing is preparing for an upgrade once you do have a physical location. And so, what's the model? So, are you service based, doing consulting work, coaching work, or a contractor? Well, you want to focus on high intent service pages, like I mentioned with the HVAC company. Maybe you do heater installs, AC repairs, AC installs, or you do residential and commercial. What is the difference between the keywords between residential and commercial? So you want to make sure that you're focusing on these kind of pages I mentioned before, city specific SEO, adding case studies, testimonials, and just trust building content so that then as you bring people into your website, they're actually able to see that you're trustable. Because in the world of AI, in the world of so many people claiming to be something, you're going to need testimonials more than ever. E-commerce. If your business model is e-commerce, then you need to focus mainly on your product pages of SEO. And that's a whole nother beast as well, right? You have to optimize for shopping related keywords and a thing called schema. When you go on Google and you're searching for a particular product, you'll notice that the searches actually show you images of a product, or they have, when you click on the image, it gives you like additional descriptions. That's what's called a schema. And you're pretty much just trying to make sure that you set up your product in such a way that Google and search engines can actually read that product and be able to display it right on Google itself so that someone can already see what you're offering and immediately click and go into it. Are you doing educational or info products, right? Then you want to focus on long form content and blog posts because people are having questions that they need answers to. And so if you're, educational, let's say that you are a physical therapist. Well, there may be questions in regards to, why is my hip always flaring up, or why is my shoulder pain? Uh, how can I aid that? There's certain questions that people are asking that you can be the one that they actually trust and find because you're ranking for those keywords. And even considering a YouTube and SEO combo, that's super duper powerful, especially in this place. But by the way, you can pursue all of these models too. You're not limited to just one. And so websites are obviously quite advanced and you can actually offer all of them. There's a case study on HubSpot. HubSpot was not always the CRM company that they are today. They've actually started with SEO back in 2013 and just dominating marketing tips, marketing, educational content, etc. And as a result of that, they were getting so much traffic that they developed a free CRM and then eventually a paid one. And you can see how successful they have become, obviously, in 2025. Are you reaching a local or a global audience? If local, again, focus on your Google Business Profile. Focus on local keywords, city names, communities when doing pages. Get listed in local directories and get local reviews on them. The location pages should have the city name in there, like Orlando Kitchen Builders, if you were doing like a kitchen. But you want to make sure that you research the keyword to optimize that as well, because maybe you might do Orlando or Kitchen Builders Orlando FL, right? FL for Florida. And so you can definitely take advantage of that. If you're national and global, you want to focus on broad keywords, like I mentioned before, air conditioning, repairing. Maybe you sell air conditioners and you sell to a global audience. And so that would be a proper place for you to then try to rank for that keyword. Very important. But this is again for your viewing. And do you have a physical location? If so, again, restating the same thing here. Not yet, but plan to have one. Start building local landing pages now to rank ahead of time, even if you may not have it at the moment. You're not lying. You're simply just saying on that page that you're coming soon, etc. But once you do have it live, you will already have tenure because that website page has been alive for a while. And so that's a benefit if you're planning to have one. But if you're fully remote or digital, again, you have to focus on content marketing. You have to focus on finding specific questions, niche questions that you can answer so that you can be the authority for that. So your SEO path will depend on your business model. And yes, again, you can pursue all of the models. And so that breaks down framework number two. And once you know your roadmap, all you have to do now is just build a strong foundation with your website and tools. Now you have the keyword research. Now you know the company model. And so your website has to be on point. And so in this case, you need a website. If you don't have a website, we'd love to help you. We build websites primed for SEO so that then you can just scale later. Contact me afterwards. But one thing that's important is that if you have a website, there's so many website platforms out there now that offer this kind of like rental, and you want to make sure that you're owning your website, meaning an insurance company was offering websites for agents, and the agent was paying, I think, 250 or 300 a month just for that website alone. But the thing was that once they stopped paying for it, they completely nixed their website, removed all their SEO, and now they have to start from scratch. And so one of the things that we always recommend is just making sure that when you're buying something, you know, hire someone. I mean, obviously we can help with the WordPress platform or something that you're always going to be able to have a backup of in case you ever need to do something with it, or pause temporarily or something. You don't want to pause temporarily in case of SEO, but at least you have everything in place. Whereas a lot of these companies don't offer that kind of like, hey, you stop paying, all right, we're going to nix things after a certain amount of days. You have to be very careful with that. So with websites, ask yourself, is my website easy to navigate on both desktop and mobile? Can a visitor find what they need within 1 to 2 clicks? That's very key, especially in your industry. You have to understand what people in your industry are doing, so that then you can have an understanding of how people are engaging with your stuff. And you can use free tools like Google Analytics. You can actually record the way that people are viewing your pages with things like heat mapping tools, like Zoho Page Sense, which takes a recording of people visiting your website, and then you can actually see how they're engaging with it. Are they even going to a section that you worked so hard on? And it turns out that only 10% of visitors are actually visiting that section, and 90% just want to know your pricing and what you're doing. So it's very important to know and have things that they need within 1 to 2 clicks. Do you have clear calls to action on every key page? And does your website load fast? Normally within 3 seconds. And so, website, what do you do? So, this is for technical SEO. For technical SEO, you just want to make sure that your website looks good and is navigable, desktop, tablet, and mobile. Should load within 3 seconds. Have a clean URL structure. So, like if your domain.com/services, don't do it like yourdomain.com/page question mark ID equals 3, because the crawlers are not the Google crawlers or the search engines that are crawling your website to see where you should rank. They don't understand this, but they understand services. They understand Orlando kitchen builders or Orlando HVAC, and so those are the kind of things that you need to be optimizing. What's a proper sitemap? A sitemap XML is just simply what are all the pages in your website. And so this document, normally whatever website platform you're on, they'll take care of that for you, but sometimes they don't. And so you want to make sure that you know that Google actually is reading that so that then they index your website. What index means is that, oh, okay, I recognize you have a page that you made. I'm going to index it, meaning I'm going to give it a rank. And it may not be ranked 1 to 10 right away. It may be ranked 99, right? Super long. But now it's indexed, which means that over the coming months, it can then be further and further optimal. So that by the 6 to 9 months, you'll know, hey, I made this page. Man, it ranked number 5. Sweet, after 6 months. Or man, I made this page. Rank 20. We got to do something about this page after 6 months. It didn't do what we wanted it to do. Images that are properly sized and compressed. You want to make sure you do this. It's super important. You need to resize your images. You don't want images that are like 1, 2, 3 megabytes because so many people do that. And then your website takes so long to load. People are dipping out of your website. You want to make sure that it's compressed. You can use free tools. Again, my guide will show you that. And it's bad for your SEO and SSLs. Make sure they're installed. It's just an overview. The guide will give you much more in depth on page SEO. So, like, how's your title, right? Is it an engaging title? Meta descriptions, meta description. So, depending on your platform, it'll say, hey, what's the meta description that you want to put for this page? So, every platform should have it. And if it doesn't, be very wary of using that platform because it can hinder your SEO success. And there are platforms out there that do that, predominantly in the real estate space, because that's what we found with real estate agents. But proper use of headers, making sure that there's headings called H1, H2, H3. That's just code and lingo for what's the priority of a heading. So every page should only have one H1. Don't do 2, 3 H1s because the crawlers that crawl your website, they're checking for, hey, is there one H1? What's the website about? The website is about kids' toys. And then the H2 and H3, oh, you focus only on toys for girls. Okay. And oh, you also focus on Barbies, right? This is an example, but that's how it interprets what's on your page. Internal linking to related content. Do you have other links in your website that you can resort to when you're on a particular page to help people go from one page of yours to another page of yours, right? Because the longer you have them on your website, the longer that they're engaged. And these are good signals for getting you ranked on SEO. Alt text on images. Again, this is something technical. It's usually on the website platform itself. Readable URL slugs, like we mentioned before. And super important, make sure you have at least 600 words of content per page. With SEO, not having content is not an option. You need to make sure that you have text. And you might say, Michael, but my design, I want the design to look good and stuff like that. You can still have great design, but you also need content. So if you want to focus on SEO, you want to make sure that you have at least 600 words per page so that they have something to investigate the crawlers and actually be able to say, aha, this page is all about this and they cover this and these locations they serve and all this. Man, oh, and they got testimonials. Oh, and they have a Google business profile. Oh, and they have Facebook networks and different profiles too. Oh, and a lot of people are talking about them. Okay, cool. We're going to give you a rank of, I'm just giving you an example as if a robot was deciding, but that's kind of the process that they go through. And then off page SEO. Maybe you need to be creating pages that have downloadable resources and share it so that then people can see it. If they love it, they'll share with their friends too and increase the chances of your website receiving backlinks. Are there blogs or podcasts or local news outlets that would feature you, right? And if they do feature you, make sure that they actually give a link of your website on their website or wherever it's published. Have you reached out to partners, vendors, or clients for backlinks or testimonials? Are you sharing your expertise in online communities, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, forums? That's, again, increases your likeliness of your website to then be found by others, which will increase your SEO altogether. And do you have a system in place to ask happy clients for reviews? And are you answering those reviews, even if it's a bad review? You want to make sure that you're answering your reviews. And have you written any guest posts or done interviews to build your brand? And so the whole point is Google and other search engines seeing you as an authority. Because the more that others talk about you online, the more that they will trust your website. And that's going to increase your likeliness of ranking. But Michael, how do I manage all this? And so, yeah, it sounds like all these mathematical formulas, and there's a whole lot to it. And I'm glad you asked because you're going to get this free checklist. And so I want to show you this. And so you're going to be receiving this list here, and it's going to have different tabs. And so all of these tabs will come with its own different thing so that then you can be able to manage it at your pace. All you do is when you get that link on the email, just go to File, make a copy. It'll make a copy on your Google Sheets. And if you don't have a Gmail account, you can just download it as an Excel so that then you can use it personally or download it as a PDF, whatever you want to do. But the goal is very simple. you start here as the roadmap, read through this because it gives you like the understanding. And if you have a website or you don't have a website, this kind of goes in a step by step procedure where then you can go over it. I did that. I did that. Oh, I didn't do that, but I'll get to it later. Okay, I did that. And so that way now you're being able to track your progress. And I have tools here, right? Oh, Google Search Console. What is that? Okay, well, let's go to SEO tools. Let's go to anything. Oh, Google Search Console. Here it is. What does it do? Oh, it gives me performance tracking. It actually tells you how many clicks did you receive, what were people searching in relation to your service, and how many people actually clicked on it, or how many people saw it and they just skipped it. Super duper pivotal because then you can find out keywords that you're not ranking for that you can now start ranking for because people are actually searching it. So this is very useful for keyword research, a free one. Create a Google Ads account. You don't have to run a Google ad with it, but they have a keyword planner tool in there. This is a free tool that they have, and you're able to then raise your questions, keywords, etc., and be able to see if people are actually searching for that on a demographic level, cities, states, etc. There's a lot of other things here, but you're going to want to do that. Then you have a checklist for each page individually. And so this is going to be helpful so that you're making sure that these things are being checked through on a page by page basis. You have a writing guide to help you write your articles or your pages because you want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that it's going to build value. And you have the planning guide, like I mentioned before, too, in the presentation. And so I think with this is going to be really helpful. Not I think it helps us. Like I'm literally giving this to you as a part of the webinar, so that then that way it can help you in your process for SEO itself. And one of the things that I did want to cover then too is oftentimes you may not want to do it yourself, right? We went over this. I want to make sure that we have time for Q&A, but we want to recap. So keyword research is the emphasis. Know your company model. And once you do that, then you can optimize your website. And that's going to be super pivotal. But if you want to save time and money and you don't want to go that route, we do have services. But it's best that we schedule a free 30-minute strategy call to actually learn best how to proceed with your company. So there's a QR code here. You'll also be receiving an email that then has the link so that you can do it at your leisure. But this is just so that then we can get together on a call. And if you want to be able to, hey, Michael, I need help understanding what are the best things, what are the services that you offer that can help with that, and we'll be glad to assist in any matter.
Hey guys, Michael here again with Rising Co. Thank you for going through this webinar. Now, I know that there's a whole lot of information there and it can be quite a lot of things to unpack. And so take your time, save that link of the video, go through it here and there. If you have any kind of questions, again, email me at michael@thearising.co, or you can schedule a call with me for some additional guidance. But right now, since that webinar was posted in 2025, AI search has become more and more relevant. But AI search still requires the classical elements of SEO, which is the things that we covered here. So you need to be actively writing content like blog articles or service-based pages based on your business type on your website and sharing that across your social media for other people to share. And then Google and AI, all those things are going to end up tracking those things so that then that way you can heighten your chances and opportunities of being seen, visible online, and thus ranking for those relevant keywords that you want people to really end up finding you as opposed to your competitor. And so those are the kind of things that you're going to need to be doing actively. But one of the things that we mentioned in this webinar is in regards to the keyword research. And so keyword research is vital. You're going to need to know what the consumer, the customer is actually searching for in order to find you. But not all websites can rank really well and really fast for that. And so what we always recommend is that take a SEO audit with us. It's free. You could go to our website, go book a call. There's a 20-minute consultation there, or you'll get an email with a 30-minute consultation. Regardless, we'll stretch it out to the 30-minute mark, really helping you to know and understand where your website currently stands and what it could be. And so that's super duper vital because if you don't know where it stands, you're not going to really know what to end up doing. Now, through the webinar, right, we talked about a lot of tools like analytics, right? Those are going to be really important to help you to know where you stand, along with the Google Search Console. But book this call so you can understand exactly what to do. But I'd like to share an offer for you that you would have already received information for, particularly in the page of the website. And so I'm going to share my screen here so that then that way you can actually see it and as I go by it, because guys, this is super live. We offer half off 4.99 SEO starter kit. What this does is it really helps you to advance and immediately know what are the articles, what are the pages based on your industry to shoot for that you're going to be able to rank for within 3 to 6 months on Google, so that then you can be showing up on AI search, you can be showing up on Google relevant to what your customer is searching for. And so now you don't have to do the work. We do that work for you. This is a one-time cost. But this is consider this done for you to the point that then you can take this list and then be able to go and write articles accordingly. But what this comes with, it comes with 7 core deliverables. So we do 25 custom keywords or phrases that are high intent, meaning people are searching for these keywords. And it's based on your industry and your website. And so if your website is rather new and doesn't have a whole lot of backlinks, then we want to find easy keywords that can really net you traffic to then eventually convert them into leads. It comes with 15 content and page blueprints, which is really templates and more elaborate guides so that you can take those 15 guides and then immediately create 15 pages or blog articles from them. It comes with technical expertise, integration of your Google Search Console, 30-minute call so that then that way we can actually go through everything and it's recorded and very educational to help you to know exactly what you're doing to make sure that you're doing things right. And you can always, again, reach out to us. We want to make sure that you're succeeding and thriving in this process. We'll do a professional technical indexing just to make sure that your website is built well on a solid foundation, and an on-page SEO roadmap and strategy map, so that then you will be good to go. But this is an example of what the starter kit looks like here, right? And so this is for a particular company. And so we have the right keywords, the search volumes a month, the global search volumes outside of the US, and the difficulty ranging from 0 to 100, 0 being the easiest, 100 being the most difficult. And we go through this, right? Then we go through the different template guidelines. You also get a guide to writing, a guide to on-page SEO, much more. This is just an example of the starter kit. And again, guys, this is the kind of stuff that has helped. This is just an example of Adoration Music Academy. She took our stuff and the training, and boom, she's right now sitting at 3,300 searches a month. Now, this is from Ahrefs, and so it's not always specific, like hyper accurate. She's actually getting around 6,000 to 7,000 searches a month according to Google Search Console. But these are the kind of things that are helping her to no longer have a full-time job. Her business is the thing that's making her the business. So now she doesn't have to work a 9 to 5, etc. Like she's fully ingrained into what she's doing, selling courses, teachings, lessons, piano, all that stuff. And these are the kind of things that we can end up doing for you. And so that's a great thing for the starter kit. And so you'll be receiving an email with that. But if you want to know more too and get on a call, again, go to the book a call section for us on our website, www.thearising.co. But let's say you don't have a website. Let's say Michael have a website that like it's not really good. Well, we offer a Launchfast website. What by Launchfast is a professionally designed website within 3 weeks without the high price tag. And so these websites are $4.99 one time or $5.40 paid over 3 months, 180 a month, depending on what you can do. And then after that, it's just $20 a month for the hosting and management, and we'll maintain it. But this is a properly optimized website that really gets you going and gets you the right people onto your website. It helps you to get started with a blog, articles, etc., to make sure that your SEO foundation is firm. And so pretty much you can browse through any of these templates here that we've created. And what we'll do is we'll derive your website. We'll send you a questionnaire. You'll give us colors, brands, all that stuff about what your industry is. And then we will create an actual website for you. And so, like for example, let's say you're an author, coach, or speaker, right? So if you like this particular template, then you can select that template. You can purchase as you scroll down. You can also see exactly like the testimonials of our customers. But you select a template, we get building, and it's custom to you, not custom, and not the same thing for everyone that comes in. So just to give you an example, this is a latest customer, Mayday Bridal. She's a wedding bridal personal assistant, and so we set you up with a WordPress website. Let me log off here so that then that way you can see. But this is a Launchfast website, and so for her. She's a wedding personal attendant and content creator, but you can see it's a very beautiful website. And so this is specific to her. It supports conversion tracking for all your marketing optimization needs in the future. Right, we got the page transitions for her. She sells a very packaged pricing, her FAQ sections, everything just done right the first time. And so here then we have our story. That's the story of their stuff, their bridal squad here. I mean, you get the picture. Website looks super duper clean, super duper professional, both on mobile, tablet, and desktop. And that's what we offer. And so if you don't have a website or your website at the moment just isn't up to snuff, consider our Launch Fast website. You can find that at thearising.co/launch dash fast. So super duper important to make sure that you have a website with a solid foundation first. Like that's first, and then you can start going on the SEO. Because if you don't have the right foundation, like Wix or Wix is terrible on SEO. Squarespace is more lenient. And I mean, really just get in contact with us so that then we can guide you as to what it is that you should be doing. But yeah, these are some two offers that we wanted to extend to you, the SEO Starter Kit or the Launchfast website to help you. You can reach out to us via call for any additional questions as well. But looking forward to serving you, and I hope this has blessed you so that you can go and really get more business and serve more people. Feel free to share the educational webinar with any friends of yours that really need it, other business owners that really want to know what it is to do to get more website traffic. We are going to be doing many more webinars in the future. And so stick around, subscribe to us, right? Like we'll send you weekly emails with updates. And so because you signed up for this webinar, you are going to be in an SEO Nurture series. And so a lot of educational emails coming out every 3 days so that then you can be applying. Just think of it like me coaching you through actively doing things on your website so that then you can get the actual traffic that we talked about in this webinar. And so we make that available to you just to help you out and really help maybe eventually get to like Adoration Music Academy is at, reaching 6,000 to 7,000 people a month, or even Living Revelations, right? Like they're reaching initially 20,000 a year, now they're reaching 90,000 a year, and so much more. But thank you. It's a privilege, wonderful honor to be able to serve you, and hope to help you out with any of your needs as well in the future. So thank you. SEO Starter Kit, Launchfast website, whichever one you need. If you need something else, check out our website. We've got a whole lot of things there for you. But take care and God bless. Bye.